So this video I'm going to be talking about 5 tips to finally fix your shot. So I've seen so many players who struggle to go from wanting to fix their shot and working on it and actually getting to that end goal. So these 5 tips are going to help you guys close the gap so you can start and accomplish your goal of actually fixing your shot and not just getting into games and shooting the exact same way you used to shoot and giving up on fixing your shot. So the first tip and first key for fixing your shot is knowing what you're doing wrong. If you don't know what you're doing wrong, it's going to be damn near impossible to actually fix your shot. And once you can start to feel each rep when you're doing it wrong, that's when you guys can start to correct yourself. But if you can't get to that point, you're just going to be shooting and you're most likely going to be shooting the exact same way you used to shoot. So for a quick example, say I'm working on my offhand, right? You need to know that you need to work on your offhand and you need to know what specifically about it that you're trying to work on. Now, if you're just going through the motions and you're just shooting like you always used to shoot and using your offhand, you're just not making any progress, right? So you need to be able to feel when you do it wrong, and that's kind of like that first step. So once I can feel, all right, I use my offhand on that. Now I know when I'm doing it right, when I'm doing it wrong. When we can start to feel those good reps, that's when we can start to make progress. So really the first step might be filming yourself or getting expert advice on what am I doing right and what am I doing wrong and what do I fix? Now the next key aspect is working on one thing at a time. So, okay, maybe you need to work on your offhand, your shooting hand, and your follow through. You can't work on all 3 things at once. If you try to focus on all 3 things all at the same time, you're most likely not gonna focus on any of them, make any progress at all. So my advice to you is focus on one thing at a time. If you gotta fix your offhand, your shooting hand, and your follow through, focus on one and focus on the most important one that's gonna make the biggest difference. So that might be your shooting hand because that might fix your offhand, it might fix your follow through. So all you really had to do was work on one and it fixed the other 2. So spend the majority of your time with that first issue that you need to fix and keep working on it until it's fixed. Now, once you do that, now you guys can move on to the next one. If you're trying to work on all of them, creates a little bit too much mental capacity where you can't focus on everything. It's like trying to catch 3 chickens all at once. You're not gonna catch either of them. Focusing on one is hard enough, so let's not make it more challenging than it needs to be. Let's make sure we're making progress in one area and not just barely making progress in 3 different areas. So the third tip is to make sure we're getting quality reps. This is another one of the biggest mistakes that I see. Just because you're getting reps doesn't mean that you're making progress. And one of the ways to make sure we're getting quality reps is to make sure we're in the optimal zone of improvement, which means we're working on something that's not too easy and not too hard. So if I'm fixing my shooting hand and I'm working on a progression or a drill that's not too easy, not too hard, that's going to be the optimal zone where I'm going to improve, where I have to struggle to get better. I have to make sure every rep is perfect. And then once it gets too easy, I can't just keep shooting and doing the same thing over again because I just go on autopilot. I just stop thinking about it and I stop focusing on it. I wanna make sure I can, from that drill, make it just a little bit harder. So again, I'm in that optimal zone of improvement. So once something gets too easy, we need to progress it. Get ourselves back in that zone where it's not too easy, not too hard, that optimal level of challenge. Just getting reps is not going to cut it. Now, another key aspect to quality reps is not getting just block practice. So if I want to work on my shot, I can't just shoot from the same spot over and over and over again. Again, I'm going to go on autopilot. I'm not thinking, I'm not focusing. I'm not going to really get anywhere. And this kind of relates back to that first point where I'm in that optimal zone of improvement. If I'm just shooting from the same spot, it's super easy. There's 0 challenge. I want to kind of maybe add some variability where I'm shooting here and then I'm shooting from here. So just counting the total amount of reps or just getting up our reps is not going to be good enough to fix your shot. You need to get quality reps and you need to make sure those reps are challenging enough, not too hard, but not too easy. Now our 4th tip is consistency. We want to be shooting every single day. It's simple, but it's not easy to do. And another part of consistency is we don't have to just get 1 workout a day or we're working out for 2 straight hours. We can break that up. So if I was to try to fix my shot, especially initially, I would try to spend 20 minutes in the morning, maybe get an hour or 2 long break, 20 minutes, take a break, 20 minutes. Now, obviously this is hard. I know a lot of you guys are in school, maybe on the weekend you guys can do this, but the more consistent and more frequent we can work out, the better. And obviously we want to be getting workouts day to day to day, and that's where we're going to see progress, and you need to stick with this. For some of you, if you're making a big change in your shot, it's going to take a little bit of time, right? It's not going to take a week, it's not going to take 2 weeks, it could take a month or even 2 months. For some of you, it might be an easier fix where it only takes a week or 2, but you need to be consistent day in, day out, continuously focusing on the same exact concept, whatever it is you need to fix, and staying with it until you fix it. Now my 5th tip, which might be surprising to a lot of you guys, is stop playing pickup, stop playing in AAU games if you can while you try to fix your shot. Now, if I'm shooting my old shot, right? We step into games, I'm not quite there yet with my new shot, and I'm shooting the same old shot that I used to shoot. We're creating a lot of interference, right? We're getting more reps with that bad technique and we're reinforcing it even more every time we shoot. So if we're not there yet in a game where we can do it without thinking, we need to try to eliminate that and only get quality reps. We need to get reps where we're actually reinforcing that good technique that we are after. So if you can, for maybe a month or even 2 months when you're trying to fix your shot, try to eliminate or at least minimize all of those shots where you're just not thinking about it and you're reinforcing and shooting with that old technique, the better you guys are gonna be off. Now, bonus tip number 6, which is super important, super overlooked, something I talk about in the shooting course that I just released yesterday, is going to be sleep. Sleep is extremely important. I made another YouTube video on this prior couple weeks, maybe a couple months ago. And this is just where we consolidate all of the skills that we've been working on. You're working on that new technique, but if you're not sleeping, you're not consolidating and learning everything that you just learned, right? It's going completely out the window if you're not getting quality and quantity sleep. So this is something, like I said, I talk more about on my shooting course. And if you guys want to fix your shot, you guys want to be guided through it a little bit more, give you guys the drills, how you should be organizing these reps, how you should be progressing it, and then getting it into a game, I break that completely down for you guys on my shooting course. So if you guys are trying to fix your shot, I highly recommend checking that out. I will give you guys a full shot assessment for free and tell you guys exactly which areas to focus on and which drills within the program that you guys should be doing. So I hope this helped you guys. If you guys are trying to fix your shot, utilize these 5 tips plus that bonus tip, which is sleeping more, getting better quality sleep, and hopefully you guys can get to your goal of finally fixing your shot and becoming a more elite player.